Hey guys, been a while. Apologies in advance, this video isn't going to be the gigantic hour-long review of Kingdom Hearts 3 that you guys might have been expecting, but think of it as a taste of what's to come. Now that everybody's really sank their teeth into how Kingdom Hearts 3 feels and what it really is, it's time to talk DLC. Kingdom Hearts has always had a long history of final mix versions of their games, which includes extra content as well as balance changes to their system. So, it's fair to say quite a lot of people are expecting some needed changes to Kingdom Hearts 3, such as nerfing magic to promote more aggressive play. However, I find there to be much more severe issues with Kingdom Hearts 3's design than just magic damage being a little bit overweighted. Kingdom Hearts 3's ultimate design is centered around gigantic mobs of enemies, and for Sora to use multiple different situation commands to deal massive damage to those mobs and kill them in large quantities. This sounds all good and fun until you realize that Sora's multiple different options all do the same exact thing in the same exact way. Hit some stuff to unlock a form change, so you can hit some stuff again and use the flashy finisher to do lots of damage. Use multiple different spells to unlock grand magic to do lots of damage. Hit an enemy for an attraction flow, wait randomly to unlock a team attack, use a link, all to do lots of damage. The gameplay gets stale pretty fast when you realize which option you choose to work with doesn't really matter, and players will gravitate towards the one that's easiest and least risky to use. And if Osaka were indeed to nerf magic and buff physical attacks, wouldn't we still be left with the same exact issue as before? And naturally, there's also the enemy design to talk about. Not only are gigantic waves of enemies a problem, the enemies are usually designed with large arcing attacks, lunge attacks, or attacks with super armor. I've heard people shrugging these points off by saying that Kingdom Hearts has always been like this, but enemies in previous titles would typically provide good audio or visual cues before going for an attack with long range or super armor. These were things you needed to pick up on to be successful on higher difficulties, and it made the overall combat feel enriched and thought out. KH3 enemies provide little to no visual or audio cues, and if they do, it's usually too difficult to tell because it's all drowned out due to the sheer volume of enemies in the arena. With unfun enemy types littered around the game like this, as well as just the sheer volume of them, how are you expected to have a fair fight? Simple. You don't. Enemy types like this encourage the player to play defensive and poke with magic because it's undeniably the most optimal way to play, and it's extremely unrealistic for players to be aggressive unless the enemy design is fixed first. And that's kind of the whole problem here. An overhaul of an entire game's enemy design as well as Sora's kit would require an entire overhaul of the game's mechanics in the first place. You'd basically be remaking the entire game, and there's no way Osaka Team is realistically going to do this. Not only that, it's not like KH3 has any real reason to change. KH3 has easily outsold all other games in the series, so to them, the best decision business-wise is to keep the boat afloat and release a steady amount of DLC. I hate to end the video on the sour note, so let's end on the plus side. In contrast to the basic enemy mobs, humanoid bosses in this game are easily the most joyful to fight, and if DLC provides cool super bosses like them, I'm sure a lot of players would be very thankful. This is Bloody Biscuits, thanks for watching.